EP001. What the hell is an agentic loop? I made some things simpler than they are. I skipped some things entirely. One thing I said was wrong in a way that matters. Let's fix all three. This is Dev Reviews Dev. The premise is simple. We make content gets things wrong or undercooked, we correct it on video instead of leaving it wrong. The original episode stays up, the correction is its own episode. Both are more useful together than either one alone. Quick fair summary of what EP001 said. An agentic loop has 4 steps. Gather context, take an action, check the result, decide whether to go again. It runs until the model decides it's finished. It can fail by running forever, by exiting too early, or by cheating its way to an exit condition. You shape it with a clear goal, guardrails, and checkpoints. That's the episode. It's largely correct. 3 things aren't. First correction. The word decide. EP001 said the model decides whether to continue the loop. Gather, act, check, decide. I used that word deliberately because it's intuitive. The problem is what the word implies. Decide suggests intention, agency, a deliberation that happens and then produces a choice. Here's what's actually happening. The model generates tokens. Given everything in its context, your prompt, the tool results, the conversation history, it predicts the next token. Whether it calls another tool or outputs a final answer is a function of those predictions. There's no deliberation. There's a distribution over possible completions. One of them gets sampled. This is not pedantry. It matters for debugging. If you think the model is deciding wrong, you look at its reasoning. You prompt it differently. You argue with its logic. If you understand it's a completion distribution, you ask different questions. What's in the context that's making it keep calling tools? Is the context making the call another tool completion more likely than stop? That's a solvable problem. Decide is still a useful shorthand. I'm not saying stop using it. I'm saying when the shorthand stops being useful, specifically when you're debugging an infinite loop and the model keeps deciding wrong, drop the metaphor and look at the context. The answer is in there. Second correction. EP001 described one agent. Real systems have more. EP001's mental model is a single agent running a single loop. Prompt goes in, loop runs, output comes out. This is accurate for simple tools. The agentic systems actually running in production are often more complicated. One agent plans, another executes, a third verifies. The loop is nested. The loops interact. In a multi-agent system, the outer loop's exit condition depends on what the inner agents report. The planner asks the executor to do something. The executor runs its own loop. When the executor finishes, it reports back to the planner. The planner decides, samples a completion, based on that report. If the report is wrong, the planner's loop exits wrong. This is a different debugging problem. In a single agent loop, you look at the context. In a multi-agent system, you also have to look at inter-agent trust. Does the outer agent have a way to verify what the inner agent is claiming? Usually it doesn't. The inner agent says done, and the outer agent believes it. That's the attack surface, and it's wide. Third correction. I made the guardrails sound like they work. EP001's 3 knobs. Goal, guardrails, checkpoint. I stand by the framework. Where I oversold it. I made it sound like doing those 3 things makes you safe. It doesn't. It makes you safer. Those are different things. An agent with perfect guardrails can still cause damage inside those guardrails. The fence keeps it in the yard. It can dig up the yard. If your guardrail is, the agent can write to any file in the repo, the agent can rewrite the entire repo's contents. Legally. That was the guardrail. The more honest version of the guardrails advice. Guardrails reduce blast radius. They don't eliminate it. Build with that assumption. Your guardrails are an upper bound on the damage any single loop can do. Set them as tight as the task allows. Tighter than you think is necessary. Loosen them only when the task demands it and you're watching. 3 corrections. Here's what held up. The 4-step model. Gather, act, check, decide is still the right mental model for most purposes. It maps correctly to how these systems work at the architectural level. It's where I'd start explaining it to someone new and I'd make the same choice again, just with a footnote. The intern analogy holds. Fast, tireless, weirdly confident, will absolutely declare victory the second the tests go green, even if it made them go green by cheating. That's still accurate. The correction to add. The intern sometimes delegates to other interns and reports back without checking their work. Multi-agent version of the same problem. Your job is to set the goal, build the fence, and watch the diffs. That advice is still correct. The amendment: build the fence tighter than you think you need to, and watch the diffs even when everything says it went fine, especially when everything says it went fine. This series exists because I'll keep getting things wrong. The record should be correctable. If I said something in an earlier episode that's wrong or incomplete, tell me in the comments. If it's wrong enough, it becomes an episode. Subscribe if you want to see what else I was wrong about. There's probably more. And next time, back to the fundamentals with the scariest one yet. How a single sentence hidden on a web page hijacks your agent and turns its own tools against you. Prompt injection.